want to talk about how you can use email marketing to grow your insurance business. Okay, this is very important, and I want you to pay attention to this. And the reason in grow your insurance business, in a sense, is to how you can use email marketing to recruit more agents. Okay, when you can recruit more agents, you can be able to sell more policies, and obviously, you can go ahead and make more money. So, in this training, what we're going to cover is we're going to cover the offer you make when recruiting. This is very important. Okay, who your target audience, target agent should be, what to expect when recruiting an agent, where to find the agent, the agent database, how to reach out to the agents, and then obviously we're going to do a few Q&As. Okay, so the offer. Okay, now it's all about. Let's talk about the offer you make to an insurance agent. Now, there are a few things you have to understand is you don't want to be generic when you recruit an agent. Okay, and the reason why, before I go ahead and dive into the cold email tools, you don't want to be generic when recruiting an agent. Now, when you cold email, okay, you have to understand people didn't expect, they were not asking for that information. They were not expecting you to reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? Emmanuel's emailed me today talking about how he believes his insurance company can help me. You have to understand the unique problem that the agents are suffering from, right? Like, let's, for instance, when you're targeting the agents, you have to understand where are they coming from? Are you talking to agents that have never worked with leads before, and you are a lead generation agency per se, which means you guys work with leads? Okay. Are you targeting agents who are working with leads but not seeing good results, but your leads are better? What is your unique offer that you're putting out there to the agents to be able to show them the value of working with you? And this is the part where a lot of agents make the mistake. A lot of recruiters make the mistake as to they're being very generic, right? They don't understand the unique reason why people are working with them. Let me tell you this. When I first started in the insurance industry, I started out in an insurance IMO, which is an independent marketing organization that did not believe in leads. I did not know what leads were. They told me, sell to your top 25, sell to your friends and family, sell to people you know. No one ever mentioned leads to me. They never mentioned the fact that, you know what, there's actually people out there that are requesting information on insurance. So I didn't know that. And because I didn't know that, I didn't know to, I just based my business off of, trying to sell the warm market. And that didn't work out. So then another agency reached out to me and said, hey, you know what? We will give you higher compensation. Pay attention to that. I was now offered higher compensation, saying, hey, you know what? We'll give you higher compensation. And then I was like, okay, higher compensation. All right. They're like, we start you at 55%. I'm like, that's way better. The other company was starting me at 25%. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. And I ended up not working with the company because I had something else going on at the time. But it so happened that this other agency reached out to me and said we had leads. They said we had leads. And when they said we had leads, he actually showed me a map. It was a cold text message. I got a cold text message, and he showed me a map of the leads. And the map was what I fell in love with, because I'm like, I could see where it's hot. I could see where it's cold. I'm like, man, there's leads in this area. There's leads in that area. The endless possibilities. And I ended up working with that company and saw phenomenal results, right? Hence the reason what I'm saying is, why should people come work with you? Okay. What is unique about your agency? There are hundreds of insurance agencies out there. What is unique about yours? Why should I stake my career or my family's needs on working with you? That is something you have to understand, is what is the offer that you're making? And look at what's unique about you and the agents that you're speaking to. So what I want you to do right now is take a pen and paper, write down on a pen and say, and a papers, who are the agents that I'm going to be talking to? And what does the agent want, right? And that basically is what's going to dive into getting the right agent, okay? When you write out what that agent wants, then you can basically, when you send your email out there, you can be able to send the right offer, right? So you're going to go and say, and go ahead and cold email saying, hey, my name is Emmanuel and I work with, we work with insurance agents that are currently generating their own leads. What we do is we teach you how to generate your own leads via, patent platform that we use. So this way you're selling to insurance agents, selling to customers that already know about you, they already like and trust you before they go ahead and get on the phone. That's a unique offer. Now, who am I going to put that offer in front of? I'm going to put that offer in front of somebody who has worked with leads before, right? Which means they've worked with, they've bought from lead vendors, or they worked with companies that generated the leads for the agents, right? So now my unique offer to that agent is, I'm saying, hey, we can basically go ahead and we will teach you how to generate leads as opposed to you purchasing leads. We'll give you the skills of marketing as opposed to just having the skills of sales, right? These are a few things in which you want to go ahead and cover in your lead generation, in your cold email strategies, right? And it's very important because here's what happens is if you're not clear in your messaging, you're going to end up getting the wrong agents to come work with you. You're going to head and get agents that want to, be freeloaders. You're going to get agents that genuinely are just looking to make money, not to provide any value. And who end up suffering at the end of it all is you. Okay. Now, I know this because we grew an insurance agency, me and business partners. And when I came in, he was already doing about, I think, 80 to 100 grand a month. We came in at 50 grand. We added an additional 50 grand. And how we did it was, and this was on a very short time frame for like a month and a half to 2 months. How we did it was we reached out to all these agents. We made the unique offer talking about, the unique offer being, hey, we work with leads. And majority of the agents we're able to recruit were agents who never heard about leads before, purchasing leads. They never knew that, hey, there's such a thing as someone out there requesting information on as far as, insurance. And that's why we were able to convert so high, was because our offer was still fairly unique at the time. Now it's fairly saturated because a lot of people are already working on leads. But whatever it is in your agency, whatever is unique about you, you want to go ahead and put that in that cold email that you're going to be sending, right? I'm going to talk about where you're going to get the list, the database here shortly. Common things to expect from your recruits. When you understand is, when agents come, when you send that email out and you are in that presentation, right, and you're recruiting them, you're talking to them, what are the common questions they ask, right? Is the common questions I got was, are the leads free? Do you provide free leads? What's the training like? Are you going to be there with me? Do you have an office in place? Do I have to do this on Zoom? Because the reality is this, is the common things to expect from your recruits is uncertainty. Uncertainty is probably the common thing because I have noticed this about insurance agents. We, as a whole, are entrepreneurs, right? What that means is we blindly follow, we blindly listen, we just do stuff without actually ever putting any logical thought to it. We're very emotional in a sense as to how we take actions. The ones who end up succeeding are people who are pretty much very logical because they end up strategizing rather than being tactical. Now, why do I say this? It's very easy to convince an insurance agent to go from team A to team B if they're not seeing results. But you have to understand something as to why did they not see the results when they came in to work with you? Okay? Because you have to understand there's going to be that uncertainty in the sense as to, are they expecting you to handhold them? Okay? Are they expecting you to do all the work for them? Are they expecting you to do all this stuff? Watch 100%. If you are getting somebody in to work with you, you need to provide them some element of support. Okay? But there has to be the willingness to go out there and seek information for themselves. That is the most important thing. Is if you're recruiting people and you're noticing that you're like, hey, you're having to handhold and spoon feed, and they cannot do the bare minimum research of going out there to find out more information, then that is someone that you will have issues with in your agency. I'm being straight up honest with you, okay? That is someone that you have issues with your agency because the willingness to self-educate is the most important thing that you need to understand as an entrepreneur. Self-education, which means no one forced you. No one told you to go out there and do it, but you went out of your own volition, out of your own basically forethoughts to actually go out there and go study to gain that extra information. So that's the one most important common thing to understand is the willingness to self-educate, because it's going to be uncertainty. There's going to be uncertainty that's going to come in. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? You need to be there to provide them the guidance, okay? Not to be there to provide them the whole information. But like, hey, they're like, how do I close this objection? Hey, here is this training on this. Okay, go watch it. All right. As opposed to saying, well, can you jump on a call with me and close the deal for me? Right. There's going to be you don't want to work with lazy agents. Okay. So the common things to expect when you're recruiting is you want to go ahead and dig to understand that they can self-educate themselves, because there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. And if they expect you to do 100% of the work, then you have to understand those are agents you don't want to work with. Right. So hence, you want to use the interview process to filter out agents, because the techniques I'm teaching you and what I'm going over with you right now in this training is I'm going over how to get agents. Once you figure out how to get agents, the next thing you have to understand is how do you You do a presentation to filter out, not to filter in. Most people, what they're trying to do is they're trying to recruit so many agents that they end up getting bad blood into your system. What I'm trying to teach you right now is how to get agents so you can do away with the bad blood and not get them into your agency. Okay, you don't want poison. Where do you find the agent? I got to correct that spelling there. But where do you find the agent? All right. So one of the things I want to cover is whenever you get licensed. Once you get licensed with a state, once you get licensed with the federal government, every licensee, anyone who gets licensed, is basically your information is now public record. Okay, it's public record. What does that mean? That means public record in a sense as to anyone and everyone has access to that information, right? The day you became an insurance agent is the day in which, once you got that license, is the day in which your information became public public record. Because by law, anyone who has a license is required to be able to be, the government's required to display that information to the general public, right? Now, most people are going to go, well, where do I find that information? This is what I want to go ahead and cover right now. You can Google whatever state you are and just Google licensee search. I'm going to use Florida for an example right now. So this is an example of myfloridalicense.com, just to show you. I'm not even going to use insurance agents. I just want to show you, just a general, like, hey, this is just any license instead of Florida. Search by license type, which also, by the way, just to understand this, some states do give the information for free, but a lot of states want you to pay for it as well. Okay. So this is a licensee search. We're going to go ahead and search. Now, I want to just show you how much information is out there that's on public record. You can find anyone that's either a licensed alcohol, beverage, and tobacco to sell, architecture, auctioneers, barbers, public accounting, engineers, geologists, harbor pilots, real estate, whatever it is you're looking for, all the information is pretty much public record. Now, you can do the same thing for Florida. Just Google Florida licensee search, right? Or Google Florida license, and then you're going to find in here, you can be able to find and research the individual. You can research by name, you can research by agency, you can research by license number, and then this is how you go ahead and sort through the database. I'm going to leave, just go ahead and, like I said, the link is licenseesearch.com/FLDFS. Sorry, my bad. It's licenseesearch.FLDFS.com. Okay, that is the what do you call it? That is the license. That is the link to go ahead and find the get access to this portal right now, and then you can go ahead and search through the agents. I'm not going to go ahead and do the search, because if I do, that's revealing of most people's information out there, which also, by the way, just to give you an FYI, all information that is registered on a licensee database, whenever you give your personal information, and a lot of people use your personal email, a lot of people use your personal phone numbers, but whenever you choose to give your personal information or give information out there, it becomes public record, and it's also, you become a registered business. And with B2B, okay, B2B, you become a business. You're registering as a business. So which means people can actually reach out to you because you are a business. So that's what you have to understand is, if you're an agent right now, if you're going to get your license, you're looking to get your license, then just understand, if you don't want people to have access to your personal email and your personal phone number, then you want to go ahead and use your personal, you want to go ahead and create a business name, business email, business address, and business everything. So people can reach out to the business as opposed to having access to your personal information. Okay, that's very important. All right. Let's go back into the presentation, guys. Back to my slideshow. Okay. Next thing is what to do after you generate your list, right? Let's say you've gone on the database, you've sorted it out, you've gotten that list, you've gotten all that information. What do? Next thing you want to do is you want to go in and verify that information. You want to go in and verify the list, okay? Now, we're doing emails, right? So when it comes to emails, I'm going to exit this. Let me find the link here. I believe it's my email verify. There we go. All right. So what you want to do is you want to use a tool. There's a tool called my email or client.myemail verifier, or there you go. I'm not a robot. I am not a robot. Okay, let's go ahead and sign in here. Okay, so my email verifier, what does this mean? This means basically you come up here to email verification. Okay, you can validate an email or you can validate an email list. What you do is you just go ahead and upload that email in here. And then once you upload the email, you can go ahead and it will spit back out and say, this much of your list is valid emails, this much is not. The reason why is when you start sending out the emails, like for instance, we've done a few validations. Give an example. 1300 is valid, 557 is invalid, and 515 is catch-all, and then you have a few. Most of this. There you go. Yeah. So you want to validate the email list, and then once you validate the email list, you're going to take it to a tool called Instantly. It's instantly.ai. Okay, and let me see here. There you go. Okay, you come up here to instantly.ai. They are basically an automation tool that you can go ahead and just upload all that email list in there, upload your offer. They have tutorials on how to use the platform. If you want to see me use the platform, you can go ahead and leave the comments below. And if I get enough people to do it, I'll actually make a video on it. But yeah, you can use Instantly, and you can go ahead and use them to reach out to the list. You can go ahead and use them to reach out to email your list for you. Okay, now let's go back into the training here, guys. Okay. Now we're gonna do a few Q&A, just a few Q&A. First is, how many emails should you be sending daily? Okay. How many emails should you be sending daily is honestly depending on how many you sorted. I usually recommend about 1,000. You need to ramp up. It's like strategies, right? Your first 3 months is probably going to be 100 to 200 emails a day, but typically I recommend about 1,000 because here's what happens: you would get about a 1% booking ratio if you have a good offer. So we usually have about a 1% reply ratio. Well, booking ratio technically, yeah. So reply ratio is about 1%, and about that 1% of people who reply to you, 1% will book. Okay, so let's say you send out 1,000 emails, 10 people will reply to you, and I'm roughly about one of them will book. Okay, depends on your offer. But typically, where we've gone at right now is when we send out 1,000 emails, we get about usually out of 1,000, we get about 20 to 25 people that will reply. Okay, so 20, 25, and out of that, about 10 will book, and out of the 10, 5 will sign up. So we usually get about 5 to 6 signups out of each 1,000 emails we send. So we send about 1,000 emails per day. So I recommend no less than 1,000 once you get there, but it takes a while to get there. Okay. Is it legal to email the agents? 100%. Because the agents, whenever, like I said before, when you list your, unless you go ahead now, calling is very important as far as if they're on the DNT list, even though they do list themselves as a business, you still kind of want them to opt in a way. When it comes to emailing the agents, just understand as to if you verify the list and you remember, they listed themselves as a business. When you register for a license, you basically opted your email to be a business email, right? But obviously, as well, like I said, when you send your emails, just make sure you give them the ability to unsubscribe, especially with Instantly. Give them the ability to unsubscribe from the list. That's very important. Very important. Make sure people have the ability to opt out. And if they opt out, don't email them again. Pretty simple, right? And then, yeah, just send as much emails as you can. And then let's go to the third one. How do I get my agents writing policies fast? Listen, once you get them on, that's completely up to you. All right. That's completely up to you how you get your agents writing fast, because the reality is every agent is different, right? It might take 2 weeks to ramp up an agent. It might take 2 days. It might take 2 months. It all depends on the agents. But if you provide them the resources and they are willing to self-educate, then they can pretty much go ahead and start writing fast. That is honestly up to you as far as how you get your agent set up. That's not something that I do personally handle. How do I come up with a good offer? A good offer is to know what's out there in the market, right? If you are, let's say you work for a company that don't do leads and you guys pretty much do a market and you're going to reach out to somebody that does leads, then you have to understand as to why should I give up purchasing leads of people who want to buy insurance from me to come work with you when you are going to tell me to send to my friends and family, right? You have to understand what's that unique offer about you and your business that's going to get people to come work with you. So a good offer out there is like, I say study what's out there in the market. Do your research. Google what other agents are doing. Look up other companies and then see what you do better. And then you go ahead and make that as an offer. And then see how you can give them a guarantee. Give them a guarantee. Like if, let's say, you are working with leads and you want your agents to sell more or get purchase a lead now. You say, hey, if you spend $1,000, I'll go on with you because I believe in you. I'll put in 250, right? I'll put in 250. I'll match in 250 to your 1,000 to give you a fighting chance. If you spend $500, I'll give you $100 to $150 towards extra towards your lead credit, right? If you spend, a minimum, and I say this, a minimum, if you're going to work with leads, a minimum of $1,000, minimum. If you're going to do 1,000, I'll put you in 250 with you, okay? And then that's it. But then with that offer that I just made about as far as they put in 1,000, you put in 250, that's not something you want to include in your email. Just be careful with that. What you want to do is hey, listen, we work with leads, all right? We have a lead purchase match guarantee. So which means if you spend a specific amount, we'll match it to a specific amount, right? But we only choose to work with agents that are, self-educated, blah, 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 blah. Make a unique offer, right? See how you can stand out as far as your email marketing goes. And thanks for listening, guys. Listen, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Like I said, I'm going to drop a few more videos as far as marketing, especially if you're in a service-based business. And then a lot of this channel is marketing as a service-based business. We'll talk about stuff like this for agents and then for small business owners as well. And that's pretty much all I got. And also SaaS as well, software as a service. We're going to talk about that. Just go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in a future video. For that, I say enjoy.